She was my best friend growing up. We related to and talked to each other nonstop about anything. She was, just a great person.
And he was just a teenager when his mother was murdered in a still unsolved crime in Cranston nearly 40 years ago.
And now a detective is taking a closer look and believes that he can unravel the cold case mystery. NBC 10 I-Team reporter Tamara Sakarsik introduces us.
My father left for work early.
December 5th, 1986, started as an ordinary day at the Fisher household on Prospect Street in Cranston.
He always left at 6:30 in the morning to go to work.
Bobby Fisher was 18 years old, living with his mother and stepfather.
I got up out of bed and, got myself ready to go to work. Gave my mother a kiss goodbye.
When he left the house on that seemingly normal day, he had no idea it would soon spiral into the worst day of his life.
I got to work. I worked at the Polychem company during that time. I was actually sitting on the back loading dock when my next door neighbor pulled in and said, "You have to come with me right now, that your mother's been hurt and you need to come with me."
When Bobby got home,
I ran around to the back door.
EMTs were waiting outside.
I knew that my mother was hurt.
Donna was found unconscious in her bedroom from what appeared to be a medical emergency.
My mother had plans to go out with the wife of the next door neighbor to go shopping. And when she missed those plans, the next door neighbor came over, found my mother, and then called the ambulance.
She was rushed to the hospital where she was placed on life support. Days later, a disturbing discovery after her best friend pointed out the marks on her neck.
A broken bone inside of her neck, which was signs of strangulation. They also did a rape kit and found DNA on her.
Bobby and his stepfather, Billy, eventually made the difficult decision to take Donna off life support, kicking a murder investigation into full swing.
Obviously, they looked at my father first.
Police collected evidence just days before Donna died.
Because they always do. They always look at the husband. They brought me in for questioning, and they also had two other suspects.
But the scene had already been tampered with.
Unknowingly, we tampered with a lot of evidence, a lot of things that could have been used. It was never treated as a crime scene because everybody was going on the brain aneurysm theory. The first thing that you do when you get into a house that's kind of upside down without thinking about what we were doing is put everything back together and clean.
But police still managed to recover evidence, including blood. The blood type ruled out Bobby, his stepfather Billy, and the other main suspect. With no signs of forced entry and DNA in its infancy, police didn't have much else to go off of until now.
It's Robert Santagata.
Cranston Police Detective Robert Santagata was no stranger to the case.
I took this case over in mid-2019.
He was family friends with the original detective.
It was just a matter of me going through everything. I had to read, a 6-inch binder worth of paperwork, sit down with it and refresh my memory, because reading the reports, it was refreshing what I knew previously about the case. And then looking at the evidence and seeing where it had gone.
That includes DNA evidence.
They had for years been sending evidence out to the state crime lab to be tested for DNA.
Which police have used to develop a partial DNA profile.
It really didn't help us because it wasn't enough to go into the CODIS system.
But now, there's a new tool, genetic genealogy. DNA is used to trace a family tree, which could potentially point Santagata to the suspect.
Do you think the person who did this thinks they got away with murder?
Absolutely, yeah.
With a new set of eyes comes renewed hope for Bobby. Decades later, he believes he knows who killed his mother that morning. Now, it's a matter of proving it.
I know who did it. It would be closure for me, for everybody else to know who did it. It would be closure for me, for him to be officially named. This person is living his life. He's had 36 years of Christmases and Thanksgivings and weddings and birthdays, and he's living a normal life. And I'm stuck in the past.
Detective Santagata is still sending DNA to the state crime lab. At this point, he hopes he has enough to send to genealogy, which could be the break in the case that they've been searching for. For the NBC 10 I-Team, I'm Tamara Sakarsik.